The head coach of Indy 11 is Mark Murray, and the assistant coaches are Ayose. And Indy's opponent, the goalkeeper coach is Andy Swift, and then the athletic trainer for Indy 11 is Josh Frankham, and then the team doctor is Dr. Ashley Ward.
Happy Labor Day weekend to you, Indianapolis. The Indy 11 certainly hope that the month of September is as profitable for them as was the month of August. Indy on their best form since the early stages of the 2022 season. For a second time in 3 weeks, they take on the Miami FC, a rivalry that dates back to 2016. Alongside Brad Hart on the broadcast booth, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us on Wish TV and ESPN+. Simply put, Brad, Mark Lowry's team is doing exactly what you hoped they would, and that is peak at the right time, as they have taken 13 points out of a possible 15 these last 5 matches.
Yeah, incredible stretch. Gives them a little bit of breathing room, takes a little bit of the pressure off, and then just keeps this peak and this momentum going here into September, October.
We'll show you the highlights from the last match, a 2-1 come-from-behind victory against Loudoun United some 7 days ago. But at the same time, we'll show you the results from the last 5 matches. 4 wins and a draw, and again, given the circumstances in Memphis, that draw felt a lot like a win just a couple of days before this Loudoun victory on Saturday night. Simply put, Brad, what is Mark's team doing differently?
Well, they're clicking right now. They're moving the ball between the different channels, which in the attacking half is so critical, not just to do it, but to do it quickly.
Well, the run started after a 2.5-hour rain delay against the Birmingham Legion. Then 3 days after that, Indy did something they have never done before in franchise history, which is win in Miami. More about that in a moment. Here's the way the table looks now. 9-point gap for the Indy 11 between them, FC Tulsa, and Miami. Again, the difference in making the playoffs and not is that 8th and 9th position.
And both teams have something very much worthy to fight for. Indy working to try and get a home playoff match, and Miami trying to get above that line for the playoffs.
Again, it was not that long ago these two teams saw each other. This was down at Ricardo Silva Stadium. Just 1 goal in the match, a set-piece goal for the Indy 11. Adrian Deespay, his lone Indy 11 goal this season, that was the match winner.
Massive keeper mistake. You come off the line, you've got to get that ball, but credit to Deespay to still be alert on the back post to make contact with the ball.
Miami picked up a win in this building a season ago. They hope to do the same this time around. Their playoff chances might depend on it. The Miami FC, the Indy 11. You're watching Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV and ESPN+.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
All right, we're good to go. We're good to go. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, there are some that would say the last 6 minutes have been the best the Indy 11 broadcast team has sounded in some time. It's a good sign that Brad and I can hear each other, and we believe that you can now hear us too. So, welcome. You've been watching the entire time, and we will try to educate and inform you as best we can between now and the rest of this match, or until the audio goes out again. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hutter with you here on Wish TV and ESPN Plus. And so far, Brad, it's been Miami that has dictated the tempo in the early goal.
Right, front foot, and I think, you know, in the position that they're in, on the outside looking in right now, the pressure is on them to pull some points tonight.
And Miami comes in 9 points back of the Indy 11. Or a better way to say that is that Indy is 9 points clear of Miami and FC Tulsa in terms of clinching a playoff spot. And for the Indy 11, they have not played postseason soccer since 2019. So yes, they have a cushion. Indy wants to ensure they are not throwing Miami a lifeline tonight, and a goal kick coming for Tim Trill.
It's crazy how perspective changes, because, you know, moments ago, a few weeks ago, we're looking at how many points does it take to get in. Now we're looking at how many points of a cushion do we have, and how many points does it take to get into that hosting position.
Well, with that, let's get to the keys to the match. They are brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Well, we've talked about it before, about the vertical channels, the left channel, center channel, and right channel in the attacking half of the field, and how important it is to bounce that ball quickly between the three. If you stay in one channel, it's too easy to defend, very difficult to score goals. Get it into two channels quickly, it increases your opportunity, and certainly if you get to three, that exponentially increases. And you look at the two goals from last week, the ball from the right into Quinn, a beautiful flick into the path of Budati, right channel, center channel, right channel, gives a penalty kick. And then on the second goal with Guenzati, you pick the ball up midfield on the left channel, put it into Solo in the middle channel, and then it goes to Guenzati on the right. Both of these goals move the ball quickly between the channels. Kyle Murphy, I am convinced this guy is a time traveler. He's not in the starting lineup right now, but he's going to be in the game at one point today. He is a prolific goal scorer, and it's like he travels forward 4 or 5 minutes, knows what's going to happen, and then winds up being in the right spot at the right time to put balls away. We got to keep, if you're in the 11, you have got to keep away from his black magic when he gets into the match. If you're Miami, you got to move the ball, you got to move it quickly. Indy's given up 3 goals in their last 5 matches. Defending have just been phenomenal. If you don't move the ball quickly, you won't open up the channels to score, and then they have to keep their shape. Yes, they're in desperate need of points tonight, but if they start to take gambles and stretch themselves too much, it's going to open up lanes for Indy 11.
For the Indy 11, and obviously their sheer focus is the next 83 minutes of this match against the Miami FC. But they have kind of their final chance to catch their breath is after this match. They don't play again for 13 days after this contest when they head to New Mexico coming up on September the 15th. So if you can take this momentum you've had through the month of August into September with a draw or all 3 points tonight, that is just huge for Mark Lowry's team.
It's huge for the points, but you talk about this break, and the break is, you know, you look at it so much in athletics as, hey, it's a physical break, it's a chance for us to recover, but it's also a mental break. I mean, these guys have been going from training on their own in December and January to coming into preseason camp in February, and here we are in September. The mental grind is enormous, and sometimes you don't get that gap where you can take 2, 3, 4 days away from the game, and that's what this 13-day stretch will provide.
Sebastian Velasquez was asking for a foul against Michael Salazar, did not get it. And Miami FC looking to attack quickly. Telfer was the target. Boudadi flying back to track it down. Normally we see that speed from Yunus in terms of getting into the attack. The thing I'll point out, again, we flashed the injury graphic to you. We're having some audio issues. 3 players out for the Indy 11 tonight. Again, Yannick Girdle, who has been out for the better part of a month and will likely be out for another month at least to go at this point. Other couple of guys were kind of late week injuries. Douglas Martinez, Callum Chapman-Page, but both guys who have kind of earned their way into the starting lineup. Their absence tonight means what for Mark Lowry's team?
Well, the nice part, you know, when you look at silver linings on injuries and card accumulation and stuff, is you don't panic when something like this happens because you've been through it so many times through the year. So the mental and tactical gymnastics that the Indy 11 coaching staff has had to overcome this year with all of the different lineups you had to play. You had to play forwards on the back line. You've had to play midfielders on the back line. That, you know, you get a couple of injuries to some key players. All season you've been having guys step up.
What a touch from Solomon Asante. Boudadi's got 3 options, could not clear the first man. Boluakin Yode to sweep that ball towards the rather full Indy 11 grandstands across the way from us tonight. Indy looking for a season sweep against Miami for the first time. This is the 5th or 4th season rather in which these two foes have played against each other. They were frequent opponents in the last 2 years of the North American Soccer League in 2016 and 2017. Miami then joined the USL Championship in 2020. Well, because of the COVID pandemic and trying to compress the schedule the following year, these two teams did not play again until last season. Indy drew a draw in Miami last year and were defeated 1-0 in the building by Miami FC last summer. Of course, this match brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf too.
You can see every time Quinn gets the ball in the middle, same with Cam Lindley, they're looking right away wide. Where's Boudadi? Where's Dambrot?
Quinn, Blake has a hit but could not square it up. However, there was a touch there, so we have our first of many corner kicks this evening. All of them brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. With that, Aiden Quinn heads in, and again, this has not been a team in terms of Indy that's frankly been great on set pieces or corners this year. Their lone goal 3 weeks ago against Miami came on a corner delivered by Aiden Quinn.
And not an easy one. When you see the goalkeeper coming out, you anticipate he's going to get it. So for Dispay to actually stay alert, be able to make contact with that ball is impressive.
And again, Zendejas is fighting that setting sun off to the west on this east-west pitch alignment. Short ball to Asante. Quinn avoids the sliding tackle. Velasquez could not get to it. Blake tried to dial up the bicycle, but never could get to it. Gabriel Cabral will just boot this one back to midfield. Florian Velo gives chase, but Boudadi has him squared away and draws the applause for Mark Lowry for doing just that. After tonight, Indy has just 2 more home matches remaining. Rio Grande Valley comes in here on September the 24th, a Sunday afternoon match. The home finale is against Detroit, who currently holds that 8th and final playoff position in the Eastern Conference. It's funny, the twists and turns and quirks of a given schedule. Indy and Miami are playing for the 2nd time in 3 weeks. When Indy hosts Detroit, when the 2 teams play on September 30th, it'll be the first time they have seen Detroit City in 6 months. Welcome to the unique nature of a 7-month schedule. Wenzati was offside.
And you can tell, you know, there's times that players know that they're offsides. They kind of anticipate that whistle. He was on that edge. He felt like he might have a chance.
Tonight's match presented in part by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. And a Famu. Play that ball across the way to Aiden Stanley. 4 players along the back line for Miami, all familiar faces. None more so than Paco Craig, who has the ball at his feet now. Longtime member of Lou City. He and Aiden Quinn have that in common. Aiden's time in Louisville was before Indy reached the USL Championship. Stanley will knock it forward. Ball sent in. D's pay. Lake could not clear it as much as he would have liked to. Sekber's the overlapping run. He'll do that a lot tonight. And D's pay will send this our general direction.
And that's just two players knowing each other. He knew the pace of Sekber's and just laid it right in behind the defender to let him run onto it.
Quinn goes to turf. Joaquin Rivas, who will head off to national team duty for El Salvador after this match, commits the foul. Tonight's match presented in part by the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. We build futures. Ball played back to Mishak Jerome. Again, Mishak was scheduled not to get a night off, but to be available for selection off the bench. The injury to Callum Chapman-Page, the former longtime Miami FC player, was kind of a late in the week injury. And we allude to the fact that there's a 13-day gap after this match. Again, you kind of get the idea that if anybody was questionable for tonight, they were going to be sat this evening, trying to make sure they are healthy and full go by September the 15th.
Yeah, the recovery stuff that the training staff does, you know, just getting guys ready for 3 games in 8 days. You give them 13 days, holy smokes.
And let's face it, you know, this team twice had 3-game stretches in 8 days in the month of August, and frankly, they went well. You know, 6 points out of a possible 9 the first go through that for the Indy 11. 7 points out of 9 the second time around. They've only got one more midweek match the rest of the season. This portion of this match is presented by our friends at the Keystone Group. Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Dambrot finds Guenzati. Dambrot just got a little too far in front of his skis on that one. Good pressure by Quinn.
Oh,
Good escape by Miami. Here's Cabral, 3v4 here for the visitors.
He had it. He had it.
Salazar just was offside. Just had not worked his way back in.
And I think he had Telfar on that first ball. He had him in a good situation where he could be in a 1v1 right at the top of the 18.
And look at the flexibility, the positional flexibility of the Indy 11. You've got Quinn as a midfielder rotating all the way to the back line, so that Dambrot can get a little further forward in the attack. Lindley also allowed to get a little further forward this way, and if Blake gets that in stride, he's got Dambrot with acres of space to operate. Aiden Quinn playing in his 251st match in the USL Championship this evening. That ties him with former Indy 11 man Dane Kelly for 5th in the history of the league. Can Boudadi get there in time? No. He does get to it, but did not keep it from going all the way across the byline. And a goal kick coming for Zendejas. Adrian Zendejas, the man in goal for Miami FC tonight. Adrian gets his 20th start of the season. It's 4 clean sheets on the year, has made 57 saves, has Zendejas.
You talk about Quinn dropping back to the back line, the flexibility tactically that this team has. You got 2 quarterbacks. You got Aiden Quinn and Cam Lindley, who both kind of do that same thing. They'll pop back in, allow the outside backs to get forward, fill in a little bit on that back line, and then play make from that area.
Valo is the playmaker for this Miami FC team. Ball is at his feet as we speak. For Indy, they have just 2 home games after this one. They also have just 2 games against Eastern Conference competition. Quinn blows a tire in the middle of the park, which allows Rivas Just to leave this one for Aiden Stanley. Stanley on the service. Rivas was making a run. Eastpay does what he typically does with that 6'4" frame, and that is win everything in the air.
It was a great ball in and a great run by Rivas.
We've seen Rivas make that run for years. Blake making one of his own.
Can they get numbers? Can they get numbers to support him?
Blake rolls it across, but nothing there by the time he could. I'm not sure Jack was feeling 100% by the end of that one. He kind of grimaces and looks towards the bench, so we'll foul that away.
You got a 60-yard run, and on the other end of it, you got to be cheeky and technical, and he just could never find the handle on it once he got into the 18.
Salazar. Flag stayed down. So the attack continues for Miami. Turf bounce helps out the home team just a bit there.
Good find.
Zadi is on. If he can keep going, Segbers. Foul and a card again, not for the ferocity of the foul, but just for the opportunity denial that it created for the Indy 11. So the first yellow of the match will be shown to Mark Segbers of Miami FC. Take a look on the replay, Brad. I think there was little doubt that, again, that's a foul and a card, again, just because of the open acreage after Segbers if Guenzati would have been able to sneak through there.
Yeah, and a brilliant ball into Guenzati. If it was just a little heavier, a little bit more to the front foot, it would have allowed an easier turn. He maybe have been able to turn it and stay ahead of the foul as well.
This portion of this match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And Lindley standing over this one. Dan brought the target, got ahead to it. Just could not keep it on frame. Well, the upcoming goal kick will give us a quick opportunity to say hello to our special guest in the broadcast booth. With us, it is Isaac Balderas from our good friends at Sherwin-Williams. Isaac, Greg, and Brad, welcome to the broadcast booth, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Looking forward to it.
Sherwin-Williams has been a wonderful partner to the Indy 11 over the years. Why has this been such a good relationship?
Just looking to enhance the customer experience with our customers. This is a good opportunity to get the customers out here and get some of our employees out here for just a good night for, you know, fun and fellowship.
I know also being Hispanic Heritage Night is of importance to you as well.
Absolutely. One of the focuses we have here in the Indy district is we're looking at improving our bilingual recruitment. So obviously this is something that we hold special to us, and just hoping to improve on that recruitment and, you know, like I said, get the customers out here.
I think everyone associates Sherwin-Williams with paints. Exactly how many locations are there in Central Indiana?
I think we're looking at 43 stores and just opened a new one on the east side over off Pendleton Pike, and maybe looking at another one here coming beginning of the year.
I have to admit, when I take a look at your logo, it is the perfect logo. It speaks exactly to what you do and what you want to do. How long has that been in the mix? Because I don't remember that from growing up, that same logo. Do you recall when it came on the scene?
If I had to guess, I'm thinking somewhere in the early 2000s when we went to the Cover the Earth logo. Personally, my favorite as well. When I get my shirts, I always request the Cover the Earth logo. That's my personal favorite.
And Isaac Balderas, our guest, and store manager at Sherwin-Williams. Which location do you call home?
Yeah, I'm in Noblesville, so I'm at 345 Sheridan Road in Noblesville, kind of by Riverview Hospital.
Rivas the target. D's Pay able to head it away. Malo will keep the attack going for Miami FC, but an errant touch gives us more time to catch up with Isaac. Brad.
When you look at the percentage, because you're in up north there, you're in this really
Correct.
growing area, how much of your business is commercial? How much is residential?
Yeah, in my specific store that I run, I focus more on the residential market as well as multifamily. So obviously a lot of the apartment complexes around, but I would say we're probably about 43% residential at my store.
What's the hottest color right now? What is the one that you take a look at and you say, I can't believe that thing's coming off the shelf like that?
I would say my personal favorite, and I think something that's very popular, is the color Evergreen Fog. I believe that's color 9130, and it's a medium green neutral shade, and that's probably my personal favorite.
You know stats and numbers like this guy.
You also know to wear blue and red on an Indy 11 broadcast. All right, for more information about Sherwin-Williams locally, whether it's your store or any of the now 44 locations through central Indiana, what's the best place people can go to find information?
Honestly, just coming into any of our, as you mentioned, 44 locations, we're all willing to help out. 44 locations, north side, east side, west side, south side, you know where to find us.
And Isaac you'll find on Sheridan Road in Noblesville. Isaac Balderas, thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the rest of the match.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. Isaac Balderas joining us from Sherwin-Williams. And I can tell you he's wearing the Cover the Earth logo on his polo shirt as we speak. And to hear more about our friends at Sherwin-Williams coming up a little bit later on in this half. So, foul against the Indy 11, drawn by Joaquin Rivas. Stanley standing over the ball for Miami. What's the play here, Brad, from the Miami perspective?
I can't imagine you're going to dial up a shot from here unless you just see something that we can't see from the booth. So this is a ball bent in behind that back line. You're trying to land it right out of Trilk's range.
Ball directed in. Indy got a head to it, couldn't clear it. And it will be a goal kick. Trilk was at the ready. Never had to move a muscle. Again, one of his handful of clean sheets since he took over for the injured Yannick Erdl. Came against the Miami FC some 3 weeks ago. Paco Craig, the last to touch it. Wearing the captain's armband tonight for Miami. It's now his 3rd year with Miami FC for Paco after many years playing for Lou City. He elected to sign a contract with Wycombe Wanderers back in his native England. Unfortunately for Paco, the timing was not good. It was a month before the pandemic hit in 2020. So Paco quickly made his way back to the States. Paco, part of that unique soccer heritage of playing at Young Harris College in remote northeastern Georgia. In fact, Indy 11 player Macaulay King, who is not available for selection tonight, also an alumnus of that Young Harris program, as was former Indy and Louisville man Ilya Illich.
Yeah, you've given us a lot of Paco Craig facts, except the one you keep in your back pocket all the time.
Oh, it's at the top line of the paragraph of notes I have on every player. His dad was the basis for Culture Club. I mean, my favorite factoid about a visiting player that we have had in the 10 years that you and I have done matches together. And yes, if Paco scores, I will sing Culture Club on the broadcast.
Oh, my gosh, that's...
So the home fans have even more of a reason to root for a Tim Trilk clean sheet now. Stanley, the target of Rivas's distribution. Sliding tackle, but Boudadi shown yellow. So both teams now have been shown a yellow. Boudadi felt he got the ball first. Official does not seem to care because of the toughness of the challenge. So Yunus Boudadi shown a card. And certainly he went in flying, and frankly, in real time, I thought he might have gotten the ball first on the replay. Official absolutely got that one right. That was a pretty reckless challenge on Yunus's part.
Especially when you're playing a team that's on the road, you got to stay away from giving them restarts in the attacking third. It's one of those great equalizers that, you know, kind of negates the travel.
Fortunately for Boudadi, I was kind of going through my notes to make sure this was the case. His break now is going to be a little bit longer. He will be suspended for the next Indy 11 match because he has hit the league trigger for sitting for yellow card accumulation, which is 8 during the course of the season. So Boudadi will not be available for selection now on September the 15th when Indy visits New Mexico United. Looking back post, Trilk never had to touch it. Ball is still in play. Indy 11 has a player down. We play on because of where the ball is located. Miami was in an offside position, and now because the ball is in midfield, they will stop to go back and check on D-Span. I understand the tough position.
Right.
You're trying not to stop a scoring opportunity, but you're recognizing that a player is down. It'll be a restart at midfield, and now the concern goes to Adrian Diz-Pay down for the Indy 11, and Josh Frank will be waved on from the Indy 11 bench.
Yeah, so many difficult things in this. One is, the player's health. That's first and foremost. Is the player okay? So that's one of the things. Then, as players are calling for this, it is a great attacking moment for Miami. So, at what point do you pull the trigger on it? And then, the other part for Indy is he's keeping everybody on side, so it allows this balance in the box that's not typically there.
And it will be the hydration break because of the warm temperatures, and obviously it was a case of two teammates colliding as Trilk and Diz-Pay knocked into each other and trying to clear that ball for the Indy 11.
And Tim Trilk doesn't do anything halfway either, so when he comes out, he comes out.
In terms of players available for selection off the bench, we'll start thinking about possible permutations if Diz-Pay is not able to continue. So it's a hydration break because of the temperatures, and if you're going to have a hydration break at home, Mom Water is always a good answer. Refreshing, fruit-infused vodka water with zero carbonation, zero sugar, zero carbs, only 90 calories. Mom Water is the perfect game day drink. Founded in Indiana and now a proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Please drink and enjoy responsibly. And while you are looking at Mark Lowry talking tactics with his team, Adrian Diz-Pay is back up, and once he catches his breath, we hope he is able to soldier on from the Indy perspective. Diz-Pay has appeared in 24 now of the 28 matches this season for the Indy 11. And Brad, it is hard to fathom there are just 6 regular season matches left to go after this one.
We just started. We just got back together.
It flies by every year. Diz-Pay, one of the many players that has been acquired by the Indy 11, either immediately before the season started in his case, or in the weeks that have developed since that time. This reminder, fans, don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+. Home of the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Now today at plus.espn.com. Udati gets a boot to that, but could not keep it in play. Salazar was the target for Miami FC.
Yeah, interesting as this was developing, Aiden Quinn dropped back into Diz-Pay's spot and was just marking one of the players on the defensive line and looking over his shoulder to see when Diz-Pay gets waved on, and then when he catches up, and he almost disconnected from the run, but then the way that Miami attacked it, he recognized he's got to stay with it.
Diz-Pay, by the way, has been waved back on for the Indy 11, so both teams are playing in full strength. Frankly, this is playing out in large part how the first match between these two teams did some 3 weeks ago. He did not score until early in the second half, and that was under the category of gritty, not pretty for the Indy 11, but finding a way to get one of their many road wins of the season. We will not have that opportunity again for a couple of weeks, but the 7 road wins for Indy is already their most in any regular season, breaking their mark of 6 plus a playoff road win back in 2019. As you look at the potential playoff picture as the offside flag goes up out of your screen, and Salazar was deemed to be in an offside position. Probably did not hurt the fact that the AR was right in front of the Indy 11 bench as that play developed as well. But the ability to win on the road is hopefully going to come in handy for the Indy 11, because as good as their playoff position looks now, it would still take some help for them to get a home playoff match here. They are the current 6th seed. While they're only a couple of points away from both Memphis and Lou City, Indy does have a couple of fewer games to play than both of those teams, and they do not own a tiebreaker with either of those two teams as well.
All right, so the only thing you can do is you just grab your 3 points every time, and you just keep watching the results as they come in and seeing if you can grab that home opportunity.
Diz-Pay pulls up. Salazar will be shown yellow. And bookings are becoming quite frequent this evening in our first 33 minutes. So second yellow shown to Miami. Sekbers with one, Salazar with another, and Louis Neal, the interim coach for Miami FC. Wants a word with our fourth official, Jackson Krauser, about said call. Take a look and decide for yourself. Kind of a rare off touch that time by Aiden Quinn that put a teammate in a difficult position. The foul somewhat bailed out the Indy 11 of a tough spot there. But with the hydration break and 3 yellows, look a little extended time, I think, before we get to halftime, some 12 minutes from now. Salazar, a player that loves playing in this building. Scored the only goal for LA Galaxy 2 in a 1-1 draw here on April Fool's a season ago.
And look at his goals per game here in Carroll Stadium. It's phenomenal.
That'll be a foul on Solomon Asante. Oluwaseun tracks that one down. It's the third different team that Olu has played for against the Indy 11. After having spent time with both North Carolina and Nashville. Sekbers will play it off of Jack Blake. Tonight's match presented in part by Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. It's a Miami FC team that, again, found their form right before they played the Indy 11. They had, at one point in time, a stretch of 3 consecutive victories they had rattled off, but they have somewhat cooled again. They played well against Tampa Bay last week, but the result went against them. An undermanned Rowdy squad pulled out a 2-0 victory. Kudos to former Indy 11 man Nicky Law, now in charge of what was formerly Neil Collins' side. Telfer, and that's going to be a foul on Jerome. Just outside of the 18. And now a yellow is going to be shown to Miami player for Akinyode's dissent to the referee. So it is a foul and a set-piece opportunity for Miami, but it is a third yellow in the first half shown to Miami. But a set-piece coming up here in the most dangerous of positions for the visitors.
Yeah, and I understand the passion, I understand the frustration, but you've just been awarded a restart at the top of the 18, and your immediate thought is, why is that not the card when I got, when we had it the other way? Instead of getting into the right mindset of how do we finish this? How do we go up 1-0 here?
Shaq Jerome the foul. I think there is little doubt in terms of going for goal from this position. It's an Indy team that has played often a man down at times this year. There is the one obvious example of them playing a man up. They did so for 93 minutes at Charleston.
See, here's great coaching. Take a look at that wall. High to low on the near post with a player overlapping the post. It just helps the goalkeeper so much, not just with vision, but with coverage.
Rivas has a hit, never cleared the wall. Velo doesn't clear Robbie Dambrot, and Tim Trilk clears everybody. That should have been a lot more for Miami.
Yeah, but, it's a wall. But yet you can look at the beauty of that wall. Everybody knew where to be and why they were there. That just goes to, not just the tactics and the understanding from the players, but, the coaching staff drilling it in. This is what it needs to look like.
Well, credit the visitors. It has largely been Miami that has dictated things tonight. But a miscue here gives Indy an opportunity. Asante, Wenzati, Lindley. Finds Asante. Asante gets around Paco Craig. Saved by Zendejas.
What a save.
First real chance for tonight, and Zendejas was up to the challenge.
How Solomon Asante was able to squeeze through that gap and get a touch on the other side of it. Incredible, but what a save.
Zendejas really has been a spectator for the first 35 minutes and answered the bell. Asante has been much more of the creator than he has been the goal scorer this year. Had the assist on Guenzati's game winner last Saturday. His 6 has him tied for 3rd in the league entering the week. Of course, he and Aiden Quinn, the 2 members of the 50-50 club in not just Indy 11 history, but USL Championship history in terms of 50 goals and 50 assists. Clearly, Salazar thought he was in an offside position if he had touched that. That's why he did not offer at it. Miami doing a great job of pinning in Indy here. Quinn finds a lane to break through. Just nets it forward for Jack Blake. Quinn on the attack. Aiden Quinn has a hit. Zendejas got a hand to it. No, they're going to say goal kick. I thought he touched it, but no argument from Quinn. So clearly he did not. Quinn just steered it wide. Goal kick coming for Miami.
Here's the thing, and we've talked about it before. You can't have everything as a team. You could grab something, you got to give something up. So Miami starts recognizing that they're squeezing play and they're attacking third, that their press is making it difficult for Indy. So they commit more bodies to it. They send more numbers into that space. And because they're doing that, and it's a great plan, if Indy's able to break it, they can get on the run and have a great opportunity in transition.
Quinn's next goal will be his team-high 10th of the season. Throw-in coming for the Indy 11. 7 of those have been from the penalty spot. I want to thank Nicholas Murray in the USL Championship League office on Tuesday night. I emailed him and said, hey, of all the league records you keep, do you keep track of most penalties in the season? We get this wonderful packet of notes each week, but that wasn't on there. This is on a Tuesday evening. Within 3 minutes, I have an email back. Yes, he is in the running for the most penalties made in a single season. Brad, you want to guess who has the record for most penalties made in a single season? Aiden trivia here, unofficially brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. No, Aiden actually made 7 in 2018 for Orange County. We have a player down for the Indy 11. Looks like it's Velasquez that is going to need to be tended to for Josh Franklin.
Here's the thing that's amazing to me. You send an email.
Yep.
You get a reply back in 3 minutes.
Yes, sir.
A man of your stature deserves a reply quicker than that.
It's Tuesday night and it's not office hours. I am here to congratulate and give kudos to Mr. Murray for his quick response on a Tuesday evening. 3 minutes is light years faster than I thought I would get it. And you're stalling because you don't know the answer to the question. Who do you think has the most penalties made in a single USL Championship season? He plays for the Indy 11.
Guenzati?
Solomon Asante.
Seriously?
So the guy that had
2019?
He had 9. The guy that has the record for most penalties made in a single season can't even get to the spot because somebody else is so good at making penalties. He hasn't taken one all year, has Solomon.
Real.
It is an embarrassment of riches this team has, and that's why there was a sense of frustration as to why it seemed like it took so long for things to click, but now they are for the Indy 11.
Well, you look at it and you take a look. Jack Blake, Quinn, Lindley, Guenzati, Asante, Pino. You've got all guys who are used to being the guy. It takes a little bit of time for everybody to figure out what piece of the puzzle belongs to them.
Our final 5 minutes of the first half brought to us by Sherwin-Williams, official paint sponsor of the Indy 11. Sherwin-Williams is the partner to the pro. Cabral will track this down. Ambrot in his hip pocket.
Oh, what a ball.
Good flick forward. Rivas the back heel. Segbers leaves it for Salazar. Trilk recovers. Wonderful build-up by Miami.
Incredible. You know, not just the right runs in the right places, but creative little flicks to get it into space.
And Segbers separating Trilk. Trilk thinking Akinyode took advantage of the situation. Remember, Akinyode is already sitting on a yellow, so keep that in mind. Tim Trilk waving off any sort of medical attention. He's fine, and Akinyode immediately comes over to pat him on the back and say, hey, sorry about that. I understand Bolu's just trying to capitalize where he can. That touch by Rivas is sublime. Segbers leave, every bit is good. And then Trilk fantastic on two fronts, to stop it and track it down.
And you got to admit, when you see Salazar there at the stripe with the ball at his feet, you're thinking, here we go, here we go.
What is the phrase? Horses for courses? He just seems to always play well in this building.
I've never heard that phrase before in my life.
And you happen to own horses. So you would think, of all people, you might have heard that. While you sit there for 2 minutes and feel shame, let me say this about the Keystone Group. They are specializing in transformational developments, construction management, and investments.
Hey, last time Coach Lowry had a touch like that was in El Paso, and it led almost immediately to a goal.
In his second year coaching the Indy 11, had 3 wonderful years, the first 3 years in the history of El Paso Locomotive. Of course, our paths first crossed with Mark when he was the head coach of the Jacksonville Armada on an interim basis in 2016 and again 2017. Blake and Dambrot just not on the same page. Immediately, Robbie a thumbs up for the idea for Blake. There's really one great chance so far for the Indy 11. Miami has had the better of the possession. I would say that chance number would be 1.5 maybe on the free kick versus of the 18 that didn't generate much for them. Soccer Saturday, of course, that started your day, at least we hope it did, on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. We're joined this week by Mark Lowry, Sebastian Guenzati, and we learned something because John Morrissey, as in USL Tactics, was on the show. You can go back and listen anytime at 1075thefan.com. We'll have an abundance of additional time before we get to the halftime break. 5 minutes now shown by the 4th official.
You mentioned John Morrissey. That guy is incredible. The amount of games he watches, the amount of work he does in breaking it down for people to understand is incredible.
Dambrot has a hit. Zendejas lifts it up and over the crossbar. Second corner coming in this first half for the Indy 11, brought to us by Wilson, Kehoe, Winningham, and I concur on Mr. Morris.
Great run from Robbie. Looked like Zendejas had the goal completely covered up. Want to see if that run from Guenzati, he's been doing such a great job of just finding a place to poke it in. If he lays it in behind, in that space between Guenzati and Zendejas, if he can just get a little toe poke.
Brought 1 goal so far this year. That came against Sacramento back on May 13th. Lindley all the way through. Cabral lifts it up and over Jack Blake, and this will eventually trickle across the touchline for an Indy 11 throw-in. I asked John a question on Soccer Saturday this morning. I said, all right, sometimes the standings don't exactly tell the story. I said, who's the best team right now in the East? Who's playing the best soccer? And he goes, other than the Indy 11?
Nice
answer,
way.
Good answer for the home team.
And who was other than Indy 11?
Probably the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Oh, he didn't give you an answer?
No, he did, but I've done things since then. I'm trying to remember what he said. But I'm pretty sure he said Tampa Bay. Dambrot plays it across it. Just off the hip of Guenzati. Blake trying to get into a spot where he could unleash. He's Pay. Surges in front of Salazar. Guenzati keeps the attack alive. Longest spell of threatening possession for the Indy 11. Dambrot off of Sekbers for another corner kick, brought to us by Wilson, Kehoe, Winningham. I try to use the word pivot, giving Dambrot's basketball background whenever I can. That would be an example of it.
Exactly. That's it. That's all I got for you. Exactly. That was a pivot. You called it correctly. Well done.
Horses for courses. So Lindley, one more time, we'll send it in.
Is that horse right? Where's that? What's that from?
Growing up on a farm. Zendejas, 6'5", able to snag that one out of midair. Miami, frankly, has been impressive in these first 45 minutes.
They have. I mean, they earned that opportunity, clever ball to get Salazar a shot from the stripe there. And then because they've been so dangerous, they've had restarts all around the 18.
Fans, show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. This was a team that was a playoff team a season ago, and obviously had that expectation coming in this year. They have largely been outside of the playoff 8 most of the way. They briefly bumped Indy out of a playoff spot in early August. That's why that Indy win in Miami was so big on August the 12th. Right now, Miami is 1 point back of Detroit.
Think how different this table would look if that was a 0-0 draw or if Miami had pulled that win.
Sure, absolutely.
Everything would be upside down right now.
Telford, as Dambrot couldn't pump the brakes in time. 90 seconds or so left to go before we get to the 15-minute intermission. Mark Lowry, what is your message to your guys at the break?
Well, you like how this has worked out in transition. You've created some great, dangerous opportunities, and all of it is coming off of Miami's press. So it's so critical. You got to focus on, hey, you can't take too many chances because they're really squeezing the space in the defensive third, but you got to find that first pass out of the press.
It is a corner kick brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Below will leave this one for Cabral to send in. Craig and Benefemu immediately become targets here for Miami. Total 6 in the box for the visitors. Budati got in front of that one. Stanley will settle on the redirection. Velasquez finds Lindley. And Lindley will look for an escape route. Quinn couldn't keep the handle. Rivas, dangerous opportunity here. Rivas has a hit, and Trilk did the best he could just to knock that one sideways. And our last act of this half will likely be a corner coming from Miami. They're heading to take it quickly.
Clever ball by Rivas. Couple little touches, sets the defender up as a screen for Trilk, and then looks to bend it around the defender and see if he can't catch just a small window.
One clearance is all the Indy 11 need here. It's Stanley that will send it in. Looking for Paco Craig. Indy got there first. Asante. And that's it. Just needed a spell of possession to end the half for the Indy 11. So, again, I think by a slim margin, Miami has been the better team. Indy has had one threatening moment on goal. They have been a second-half team as of late. Let's see if that trend continues. Tim Trilk, his team, keeping a clean sheet. And Mark Lowry, they will do a little recalibrating at halftime. Our score at the break, it is the Miami FC 0 and the Indy 11 0. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back and begin our halftime festivities and our look around the USL Championship. 0-0 through 45 as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV and ESPN+.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
You know, we have plans for our halftime show, but Brad, I have to admit that I was distracted by the halftime entertainment. I looked on the video board at the east end of the park, and there were apparently Jack Blake and Yunus Boudadi trying to do their best impressions of us recreating goal calls from during the season.
Get out of here.
That's what I said. But I would bet they do a better job of doing that than we would imitating them on a soccer pitch.
100%.
And with that, we welcome you back to Indy 11 Soccer here at Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium. As always, at halftime, we start with a look around the USL Championship. And how about this for the team of the week? Nico Brett, he still got it. He's at the 75-goal plateau for his career. 4 goals for the Legion in 2 matches last week.
Been absolutely on fire right now.
And let's, of course, not sleep on the fact that Aiden Quinn, in fact, is on the team of the week as well. Again, as he got his 9th goal of the season, his 7th from the spot in the 2-1 win last Saturday against Loudoun. Our news and notes around the league, of course, it is Labor Day weekend, and the USL Championship wants to recognize all workers past and present. And we talked about this in terms of Joaquin Rivas. He is one of many players in the championship that will represent countries in the upcoming international window. He, of course, plays for El Salvador. And we've got a duel of the champions. While it is Hispanic Heritage Night, I don't want to insult anybody by butchering the pronunciation of what it says next to San Antonio's graphic. But the team that won the kind of second level in Mexico will be playing San Antonio FC coming up in just a handful of days. A neat exchange between those 2 clubs. We'll step aside. More halftime comes your way next. Indy 11 Miami FC, 0-0 through 45 as you're watching on Wish TV.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
It is Hispanic Heritage Night here at the Indy 11. 0-0, they lead Miami FC. More of a look around the USL Championship here at halftime. Let's update you on scores taking place around the USL Championship night. Again, the score that is of most importance to both the Indy 11 and Miami is Detroit City and Memphis 0-0. Again, Miami is a point back of Detroit, along with FC Tulsa, for the final playoff spot in the East. The other match I'll point out to you is this. Hartford is the last place team in the league by a long shot in terms of the East. They also have a very short roster for tonight's match. They've had a COVID outbreak go through the team, but they're playing and they're leading in Tampa. Elvis Amog on the board in St. Petersburg. 1-0 Hartford leads them. Quick look at the table in terms of the Eastern Conference. Again, Indy is currently in 6th. Probably 4th is about as far as they can go. First things first. Take care of business, those behind you. That includes tonight's match against Miami FC.
Right, you take care of that, but both, you know, when you look at Lou City playing Colorado Springs, if Colorado Springs can win that game and Detroit City can beat Memphis, and you win this match here, you put yourself in that position that at least visually, you're hosting.
Other thing I will say is this, again, this table is going to change dramatically between now and the next time the Indy plays, not playing for some 13 days. So here are the matchups that are taking place later tonight and some that are taking place tomorrow as well. I think those two matches tomorrow have an impact on the Indy 11, with Birmingham playing in San Diego at 6 and FC Tulsa playing host to San Antonio at 8:30 tomorrow night. And by the way, that Phoenix-Rio Grande match, two teams in Indy will play in upcoming matches. 0-0 between Indy and Miami. More comes your way next from Carroll Stadium.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do you do? Tell them more, tell them more, tell them more.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Hope to catch up with Mark Lowry here at the tail end of halftime, a couple minutes before kickoff. So let's go right to our highlights from half number one. You'll see scoring chances from each of these two teams. Again, possession favored Miami. Your overall impressions, Brad, of half number one?
I think it's been a pretty even match. I think while Miami may have had more opportunity in holding the ball in their attacking half, the number of chances between Solo, Quinn, and Dan Brock getting in, and Salazar, and Rivas on the other end, both teams have had looks at the net.
Both these teams are on a full 7 days rest, and I couch or say that statement to set up this question: can Miami continue to press the way they have for another 45 minutes?
Well, it depends on how badly they want it, because their season is, they're not in or out based on the result from tonight, but tonight dramatically impacts the pressure they're going to feel. And so if they want to, it's cooled off here right now. The sun's down. If you want to continue to cause some difficulty for Indy, you got to continue to press the way you did.
No substitutions yet for the Indy 11. We're going to see one for Miami in terms of Kyle Murphy right off the top of this match, and obviously he's their best scoring threat.
He's incredible. So, we take a look at Guenzati and Murphy. You've got two of the best on the career table as far as goals, and you look at goals per match. These two, Kyle Murphy is 9th in career. He scores about once every 197 minutes. Guenzati's 8th at 186 minutes. So you got two of the most prolific scorers as far as how often they convert.
So you see the numbers, and I'll be honest, Brad, and again, I didn't think possession was lopsided. I'm surprised it was kind of as even as it was, 53-47. The shots on target, I think, that would be indicative. We don't only have this graphic to show you, but I would call them quality chances. A couple for each side. I say that's an accurate representation of half number one. Well, the two teams are getting ready. And by the way, the player that Kyle Murphy's replacing is Michael Salazar. So Salazar's streak of goals scored in this building will end at 2 years and not 3. But obviously Kyle Murphy knows a thing or two about finding the back of the net. He was absolutely lights out for Memphis 2 seasons ago. He had 20 goals playing for Ben Pierman. This is his 2nd year of playing in Miami. Murphy with 5 goals and 2 assists so far in 21 matches this season. All of our substitutions are brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana.
Kyle Murphy is the closest thing that I have seen to Eamon Zayat. He just, works. He disappears for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you look and he's in the exact right spot as that ball comes across the box.
No changes for the Indy 11 in terms of attacking options. Stefano Pino. And that is a foul against Cabral. Again, 3 players sitting on a yellow for Miami FC. Just 1 given to the Indy 11. That belongs to Yunus Boudadi. Telfair bounces off of Quinn, and they'll go back and say that an advantage was being played. No card will be shown, but Telfair fouled nonetheless.
He had a full head of steam, and he has got some incredible pace. That first half when he was lined up out wide going against Boudadi, you could just see, Boudadi's got unbelievable pace, and it was neck and neck.
Tonight's match presented in part by Sirius XM FC. Can't watch the match on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. Murphy plays that ball across. Corner coming for Miami FC. Just a reminder, you can hear USL All Access every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Live matches from the championship, Major League Soccer, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
You look at Kyle Murphy, 60 seconds into his match tonight, and 1 touch, and boom, he's got a corner kick for Miami.
Our corners brought to us by Wilson. Kehoe Winningham. Before said corner, we will have a conversation.
Conversations are good. It keeps everybody on the same page. You and I should have more conversations.
I think we're kind of having one right now. Stanley will direct this in. Budati, Murphy, couldn't get it past Velasquez, and I'm not sure if that was trickery. Defender kind of walled that one away.
Here, it's a missed serve. That's not the intent of that ball, is to hit the front Indy 11 defender, and it falls right to Kyle Murphy's feet. It's that he just is in the right spot constantly.
Murphy in his 8th year in the championship. He's been solid every year. He's had a couple of years where he's been absolutely spectacular. Had a great year for Loudon as well earlier in his USL Championship days. Native of New York that played his college soccer at Clemson. Budati the target, but Lindley's offering was just steered a bit wide.
If you're Indy 11 and the way that Salazar has scored repeatedly in this building and he goes to the bench, you're excited about that. But Kyle Murphy's done it to Indy 11 throughout his career, no matter where he's been as well.
We knew we'd see Murphy at some point. Look at the final 45 of this one. Paco Craig. We are having a longest header competition. And that'll be a foul, or will it? Nope, the advantage being able to be played. Blake stays down. Velasquez has Guenzati to his left. Quinn and Budati join the attack, make that Dambrot. Dambrot sizing it up. 11 elects for possession. Blake has worked himself back into the attack and has plenty of space in midfield. Brought maybe one too many touches that time for Robbie.
Yeah, and I think, in that scenario, Guenzati's trying to look for a little ball flicked into space for him, but when he made that run, he brought the defender in behind Dambrot's pressing defender. Congested play just a little bit for Robbie.
Tonight's match brought to us in part by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. It's going to be a touchline issue with Miami FC. Couldn't keep that in play. Throw-in coming for Indy. We are not at this point of the match yet, but there does get to be a point where literally a point is better for the Indy 11 than it would be Miami tonight. Of course, this match brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Lindley. Able to carve out some real estate on Rivas. Miami will have to play next week's match. A very important one up in Hamtramck against Detroit City without Joaquin Rivas. Blake. Opportunity here. Murphy is onside. D's pay at full stride. Murphy able to get around him. Can he do anything with it? Now kept it in play to his credit, but had no teammates joining him on his crusade towards goal. Budati on the charge. Guenzati heads to the near post. Asante. Looking back post, Blake couldn't get there in time.
Good spacing.
Ball played in, Asante couldn't get there. Stanley read it well.
And you love when Guenzati comes back and he serves as a target. That ball comes to his feet and they make plays off of that. But he's really so effective in moments like that where Budati's coming down or Asante's coming down the side or Dambrot's coming down, and then he's just kind of sitting between the two center backs waiting for that ball to come across to see does he cut in front or cut behind.
Cabral, what a find. That's Velo. Velo looking for Murphy and just put it off.
Goodness. My goodness.
Jerome made that a very difficult angle. Murphy did what he could do to get a boot to it.
What's he had? 3 touches so far in the game. 1 was across the box for a corner kick. 1 was to keep the ball in. And then this one is a toe poke that goes off the post. Sorcery.
Would have been a phenomenal one if he had picked it up. Didn't miss it by much. Trilk gave him little to work with. Trilk was named the Indy 11 Player of the Month for August. He's filled in more than admirably. He has been, you would say, nearly the equal to what Yannick Ertl had been for the first 5 months of the season for the Indy 11. But frankly, that was what was expected of Tim, because there just wasn't, it was felt not that big of a difference between what Yannick has done so far this year and what Tim did at times for this team last year.
Kid never clicks off. Never clicks off.
Asante. Sekbers will track it down.
You can see that, that last ball, the earlier ball from Cam, they just keep asking questions of Miami's center backs.
You're looking for their 4th home win of the season. 10 wins in total, 7 away from Indianapolis, 3 here in the building. They have won their last 2 times they have played here against Birmingham and Loudoun, respectively.
Turnover all off of the efforts of Aiden Quinn to make the decision as that ball goes back to Paco Craig to stay on it and continue to just follow the trail of it and put some pressure on Paco.
Maybe as evenly played of a match as we have seen all year to this point. Opportunities have been minimal for each of the 2 teams.
One thing we didn't see much of in the first half was Velasquez getting touches on the ball. And now he's dropped back a little bit deeper. He's finding a little bit more space in that pocket in front of the back 4.
And again, let's face it, he is playing a little bit out of position tonight because of the injury to Douglas Martinez. If all things were equal, there's probably 2 changes in the starting lineup you would make. You would have Chapman Page in for Jerome as a center back. You would have Martinez up top in Velasquez's spot. He is more naturally a midfielder. And again, another one of those great roster finds by the Indy 11. Barely seen the field for Memphis the first couple of months of the season. Played for Mark Lowry before in El Paso, and he has been a difference maker here. Sekbers gets in behind Blake. Sekbers has 3 options to work with. Plays it across, and Trilk snags it. A player of Sekbers' quality, he'd probably like to have that back.
Yeah, now here's one of those moments. You got Stanley up, you have Sekbers up, and you had Velasquez and Guenzati in a 2v2 situation. That may be one of those ones you look to just knock it up there and see if you can get some guys to run onto it.
Tonight's match presented in part by Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Came from behind to beat Loudoun last week. Loudoun scored in the opening minute. He scored twice in the closing 25. High line being played by Miami. Can Indy find the breakthrough? Right idea, just Asante put a little too much on it. Budati could not get there in time. In terms of options off the bench for Indy tonight, Stefano Pino up top. Plenty of midfield options. Harrison Robledo, Roberto Molina immediately come to mind. Brian Revillon, Ben Reveneau, Jesus Vasquez, the field position options. we want to acknowledge, we didn't touch on this in the starting lineup, but there is a new goalkeeper that is in uniform tonight for the Indy 11. That is Eric Walker. He is on loan from St. Louis City in Major League Soccer for the remainder of the season. More on him in a moment. Asante. Gwenzati thought it was for Blake, and it was for Gwenzati.
That was one of those ones Asante needed to lift it back, just bend it in behind the back line. Gwenzati was all alone on the backside.
Gwenzati with 8 this season, all from the run of play. Lindley for Gwenzati, couldn't get it through. Blake's follow-up run couldn't get there in time. And let's face it, you know, the attacking third has been kind of the bugaboo for the Indy 11 all season long. Valo, good high line there by the Indy 11, and Dees paid nothing wrong, held his ground, absolutely. Murphy was well offside. There's nothing that Valo could do at that point. But I do think tonight, Brad, because we have seen Martinez almost every time out this year. He has literally missed 2 matches until tonight. He wasn't here for the first match against Tampa Bay, and because of his trade agreement with Sacramento, he could not play against the Republic on May 13th. He's played every other match since. I do think you see kind of his absence. You're feeling that effect tonight in terms of that last third.
Well, the great thing that he brings is such pace, and he puts his heels on the touch line. He gets so much space and so much width that you could see anytime Lindley or Quinn gets the ball when he's on the field, they're looking to see where is that edge defender. Can we put it into a place that Douglas can run onto it?
Perhaps this is the night that Stefano Pino, that's the first goal for the Indy 11 off the bench this season after having 13 a year ago. Did not join the team until early July. Of course, if Stefano does enter this match, he gets to play against his old team. The team that he scored 21 goals for in their NASL swan song of 2017. Blake is tackled literally by Cabral. We'll have a hydration break coming up in about 10-15 minutes. Right now an injury timeout for Jack Blake.
And this is just a veteran move. He recognizes that as that ball comes into him, he's got a player coming at him full speed. If he just slows up, there's nothing that can be done outside of the foul. So he's able to draw contact. He knows he's going to get hit.
This match brought to us by the Denny Company. He's tearing down the past so you can build the future. The Indy 11 have 13 days off. They do not play next week yet. They'll play at New Mexico for the first time on Friday the 15th. New Mexico came here last year on race weekend and got a 2-1 victory. Then Indy will play Phoenix for the first time ever, home or road. Good to see Juan Guerra. It's on the opposite touchline on the 20th of September. Then it is RGV here on September 24th. Detroit City on September the 30th. At Tulsa, at San Antonio. That is the end of the season. At least the regular season. Certainly this team is in a playoff position. 9 points clear of both Tulsa and this Miami FC squad heading into tonight's match. This portion of this contest brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Blake will be waved back on momentarily. Miami does have a second sub heading towards the 4th official. Ben Mines will enter when given the opportunity for Miami FC. And Velasquez and Dambrot just couldn't make that connecting pass. Anything from a tactics standpoint you're changing here if you're Mark Lowry, Brett?
Well, I think you just want to be very aware of Kyle Murphy. He disappears, he just pops up in the right spot. So you got to make sure you got eyes on him at all times. But I think you've had some great opportunities. It's just been that final delivery, that final ball, hasn't found the right pace, the right place.
Foul against Robbie Dambrot, and Ben Mines will be brought on, and Joaquin Ribas will exit. Ribas with 6 goals this season. We'll add to that total tonight. Mines will come in to replace him. Mines has scored 1 time this season. All of our substitutions brought to us by Chief League of Indiana. Mines, many years a part of the New York Red Bulls system. Spent parts of the last 2 seasons in both Orange County and Colorado Springs. Mines has played in the USL Championship for parts of 8 years, yet he is only 23 years of age. Mines is sub number 2. Three subs remain for Miami. Budati walked the tightrope on that one. And Miami has kind of backed off the press a little bit in this second half. Quinn off of Segbers.
Start to see a little bit of fatigue right now with Indy waving at the ball and diving in and not tracking back quite with the same kind of discipline they did early in the match.
These pay. Ramping up a little bit. Again, it is cooled off now as we are well past 8 o'clock local time. Frankly, the way it felt tonight at the start of the match was similar, maybe even cooler to last Saturday, but it hadn't felt that hot since last Saturday. This didn't replicate the training conditions during the course of the week. And a giveaway by Miami. Quinn goes back to the safety of Tim Trill. Now the press picks up for Miami.
They do a great job. Once it gets out wide, they just keep squeezing the space.
And Lindley. Cam has been known to buy himself a little time to collect his thoughts on the turf this year. He has played in every game the league has allowed him to. He had to miss 1 because of yellow card accumulation. We mentioned this in the first half, but Yunus Budati, who has played through a dislocated shoulder at times this year, will have to miss a 3rd match this year. When Indy returns to New Mexico next Friday, or in 2 Fridays rather, he'll be out due to, again, yellow card accumulation. This has been kind of a card collecting team this year for the Indy 11.
I was thinking earlier in the first half that I think this is the most card accumulation suspensions that we've seen. And we still got a handful of guys on the watch list.
Blake, when Zadi was in just on the back foot. Close out by Jerome, and again, Jerome got the ball first. Murphy took a tumble, but Ishak made contact with the ball first. Ryan Rebion, Stefano Pino made their way back to the bench. Well defended by Stanley to keep Wenzati at bay. This match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. A stalemate so far in Indianapolis. Can Indy find the breakthrough?
Great touch.
Velasquez. Budati. It's been that last touch inside the 18 that has left Indy fans wanting tonight. But then Murphy's touch, not a good one. Budati again. And that time, 2 Indy 11 players tried to take up the same space. Blake and Gwenzati, and because they did that, 2 defenders came with them. That was a full-on committee meeting at about the penalty spot. Opportunity here for Miami.
3-on-2.
Segbers. Dees Pay got a head to it. Well done.
Uh-oh.
Now he's coming up gimpy, and he's saying, hey, that's it for me. So there may be another substitution that's going to be needed for the Indy 11.
Likely got to be Vasquez. And just by the way that he moves, you started feeling like it was a hamstring that,
and
you know, you hope he just caught it before it went, and he just felt it get tight and said, okay, that's it.
You said Vasquez, and Vasquez came flying towards the bench.
He was listening.
Eastpay will try to defend this, but his night is shortening by the second. Ball sent in, headed up and over the bar. Murphy could not keep it on frame, so it will be a trio of substitutes coming in for the Indy 11. Now, you might think that constitutes a group at an Indy 11 match. A group actually could be as many as 10 or more. You get the beer garden experience, you get on-field opportunities, in-stadium recognitions, and up to 35% off regular ticket pricing. To learn more and book your group, visit indy11.com/tickets or call 317-685-1100. Now, again, a reminder, you've got 2 nights in which to do this. Sunday, September the 24th, Colts are on the road. They play at 1 o'clock. You can do the doubleheader, watch that at home, and come down and watch the Indy 11 late that afternoon. And then Fan Appreciation Day is September 30th. It is also Corn Appreciation Day.
Corn Fest.
On September the 30th. So, corn cob kits and scarves. Tell us about it.
Well, you take a look at, we were originally going to do this for All Things Indiana Night on August 26th.
Also known as last Saturday.
Yes, it was very much also known as last Saturday.
We worn corn cob kits.
The problem
we made fashion statements on the broadcast.
They sold so well, we had none to sell. So we didn't want to put them on the players for that match and then not have them in the merchandise tents for people. So we've put in a reorder. We've moved the corn kits and corn fests to Fan Appreciation Night on September 30th.
Somebody has their corn cob kit. And hello, Josh Loritzen. I hope you're doing well this evening, right in front of that lovely young lady that managed to find
that is awesome.
One of the dozens. Well, they're not hard to spot in the crowd.
No, they all shipped this week. So if you ordered it, you should have it.
Now, some people have a friend that gave them one last Saturday.
What?
No.
Hopefully that friend wears his corn kit around town before the 30th.
It has not left the first floor of my house, so I can stare at it every day. Get yours at shop.indy11.com.
And the one thing, too, this is a little-known fact, but it's so important to the Indy 11 faithful, is that you cannot spell corn dog without corn. Check it.
In broadcast school, sometimes they tell you the best thing you do is lay out. I want to let that one simmer for a little bit.
I thought you were resigning.
We've had that happen on the air before. Zendejas will play this out to the right side. Minute number 70. It's been level, both in terms of the tenor of play and the score. And Indy has 3 substitutions awaiting. Rebion and Pino holding off for now. And Jesus Vasquez getting the full dissertation from Iose on the bench in terms of what will be expected for him and trying to spell Dees Pay at some point sooner rather than later. Rebion and Pino, in fact, are going to go back to warm up. They have kind of peeled away from the 4th official for now.
One, you know, when you're a coach and your gut kind of is telling you where the game's going, you're creating a lot of opportunities if you're in the 11 off of possession, you know, holding the ball in the attacking half and creating some opportunities wide and driving into the box. If you're Miami right now, you're creating opportunities out of transition. And so the 2 styles really play in the favor of Miami in this, because as Indy looks to push bodies forward into the attacking half and look to possess that ball, that turnover gets Miami out on the break and gets them their transitional opportunities.
And again, there's a little more cushion for Indy if they're playing for a point tonight. Although at the same time, Miami's a point back of Detroit, and they play Detroit next Saturday. Now, it's on the road. You don't have Rivas for that game, but Again, a point is not the worst thing in the world for Miami this evening on the road. Lindley. Budati, back post! Indy 11 has the breakthrough! There it is. They say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It feels like that here. Cheeseburgers in paradise all around the Brickyard Battalion. It's time to cue the smoke in Indianapolis. 1 goal lead for the home side in minute number 73.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Sebastian Guenzati gets his 9th goal of the season, number 68 in his vaunted USL Championship career.
And here, this is how Guenzati's been scoring in this hot stretch that he's been on. The ball comes out wide. He finds himself between the center backs. That ball comes across, and whether it's a diving header, whether it's sliding, getting a toe poke in, he finds the other end of it. Goal scorer's gonna goal score.
Give Budati the assist. That is his 4th of the season. That vaults him into 2nd, only behind Solomon Asante. Lather, rinse, repeat. Attack from the right side. Play it across for Guenzati. Somehow, some way, he will get just the piece of a cleat on the ball and direct it on friend.
And great little touch from Solomon Asante, and credit Budati for continuing his run, not expecting Solo to turn and have a go at goal himself.
Fouling against Jack Blake. Restart coming for Miami. The lovely smell of sulfur wafting across this Indianapolis evening. It is always July 4th at any Indy 11 night. Indy looking for a season sweep against their rival over 2 leagues for the first time. Miami actually swept the season series back in 2017. That Miami FC team in the last year in the NASL was absolutely ridiculous, with Stefano Pino being a big part of it. Dylan Maris, Richie Ryan, amongst other.
Don Smart with them too at that time?
Not at that time. He was still with Indy and then went to Miami the next year. But I'm sure Don appreciates you bringing him up in the broadcast. The ageless Don Smart. Indy's original super sub. Cabral will send this one in for Miami. Impressed by the fact that Dees Pay has continued on here for Indy. Ball sent in, headed up and over the bar. That was Paco Craig that got to it. Tim Troke will stretch it out for a moment. And Tim has had to play every minute of every match in goal since Yannick Ertl got hurt. And he'll have a chance to get a little water into his system with 15 minutes plus stoppage time left to play in this one. I want to thank our friends at McGowan Insurance. They have been a partner of the Indy 11 for the last several years. Please visit McGowan, INSPGRP.com for all your insurance needs. Pino, Rebion, and Jesus Vasquez all waiting to head toward the 4th official when Indy 11 needs them. This result temporarily puts Indy on 41 points. If this score holds, it would also match their best 6-match streak in club history. In June of 2019, Indy played 6 times, won 5, and had a draw. So that's kind of the rarefied air that this Indy run has been on since August the 9th against the Birmingham Legion.
When you look through this 6-game stretch, how effective they've been getting that ball down the right flank, whether it's Blake, Lindley, Budati, Asante, and then finding Guenzati on the other end of it.
So here is the line change for the Indy 11, brought to us by Jiffy Lube. Brian Rebion is in for Robbie Dambrot. Sebastian Velasquez will exit as Stefano Pino replaces him. And Adrian Dees Pay led to the sidelines. And Jesus Vasquez, who was really kind of an everyday Eddie from the time that he got here in late July last year until he got hurt in training in early July. I've only seen him play a handful of minutes the last couple of matches since that time, but it's kind of part of a larger theme. Having him round into form and health is going to be awfully key for Indy down the stretch of this season.
Right, and to not have to do it because of depth issues. You know, you can be a little bit flexible. You know, he's going to clean up 15, 20 minutes here at the end of this and start getting himself back, as opposed to being pressed into having to go 90 and try and navigate that when he's not match fit.
You know, I would say if Mark Lowry had his druthers, his preferred center back pairing is Deespay and Chapman Page at this point. But options he's got. Christian Sorto, by the way, will check in. Next stoppage in play for Miami. And Lindley has no problem with kind of stepping on the ball right now for Indy.
He knew he wanted. He was just orchestrating a couple pieces to move so he could open up that channel and find Blake's feet.
Sorto awaits by the fourth official. Rebion with 2 goals on the season has a hit going, and that was more of a cross than it was a shot.
What a run by Rebion. He sees the ball coming into Quinn. He takes off before Quinn gets his first touch. Quinn settles, has a look, hits him in stride.
Ryan Rebion again, he too has played sparingly since being hurt. On the follow-through of a goal he scored against the Switchbacks on May 20th. Really only played a handful of minutes since then, but he too getting back to healthy form. He scored the team's only goal in their first victory of the year against Detroit City on May 25th. Ishak Jerome, if you had asked him at the start of the day yesterday, he'd probably say I'm playing about 15 minutes. At the start of this match, he'd say I'm probably playing about 75 minutes. Now he's going to go 90. Surprise. 14-year pro from Haiti. Miami FC is going to make their last sub, because they just made another sub. 3-point takedown by Ofemu of Stefano Pino. The previous sub that was brought to us by Chief Loop of Indiana, Christian Sorto is in. Ryan Telfer is out. So Sorto, 4 goals and an assist. Claudio Repetto will be the final substitution for Miami FC. We'll make sure we note this for Miami. We've talked about Callum Chapman Page being acquired from Indy, or by Indy from Miami. The player Indy sent back, Gustavo Ricci. He was in the 18 tonight. He's here. He has yet to play a match for Miami since being sent to Miami in late July, but Gustavo will not make an appearance against his old team tonight. Of course, Callum Chapman Page was injured in practice this week, and it was a late scratch as of yesterday. Asante was trying to find a teammate. Instead, he hip checks Aiden Stanley.
You'll take that foul, you know, you're 80, 90 yards from goal, and you're putting pressure on them, forcing them back to keep her.
Miscue here. Pino pounces on it. Takes one look, plays it across for Guenzati. Guenzati couldn't keep it at his feet, but Quinn on the charge, but Aiden Quinn, and trying to play the ball, ended up playing more of the man, and he'll be called for a foul. So Guenzati's goal. He and Quinn now level in terms of goals scored this season. He's trying to have double-digit goal scores in a year for just the 2nd time in franchise history, with both Quinn and Guenzati sitting on 9.
That was really well defended by Craig.
We've been saying that for a long time, haven't we?
That we have. That we have.
So Repetto, I believe Florian Velo is the player in which he is going to replace. That is the case. First, let's thank our friends at our Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf, too. Search your local Honda dealer today. So Miami has made their last substitution, and as expected, Florian Velo will exit. Claudio Repetto will enter. Repetto making his 20th appearance of the season. He is from Italy. But he came to the States first to play at Grandview in Iowa. Their nickname, Brad, would be?
The Grandies.
Close, the Vikings. And by close, I meant not close at all. Then we go on to play at Coastal Carolina. What's their nickname, Brad?
Surf.
They're close to Surf, yes, but the Chanticleers is what they're known as. And Brad is 0 for 2 on mascot trivia. Repetto had 9 goals for the Charleston. Their nickname?
Battery.
In our league. There you go, 1 for 3.
Here we go.
3rd time's the charm.
33, just like school.
Thankfully, you were graded on a curve for most of your life. Anyway, Repetto had 9 goals for the Battery 2 years ago and joined Miami FC last September. Good-looking ball here, mines the target. Rebion off to challenge for Indy. Headed away by Vasquez. Fresh legs in that corner of the field for the Indy 11. Pretty turn by Rebion. I think there was an ask for a handball, didn't get it. Vasquez will simply knock it sideways for Indy. Indy playing a man down. Blake was just waved back on for Indy, and they've got 2 subs to choose from. If they want to pull Blake from the game, looks like they're going to, because Harrison Robledo now has made his way to Ioze and Mark Lowry on the sidelines. Sorto cuts it back, but just too strong. And Trilk will let some time waste as Murphy could not get to it. This reminder, fans, you can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Download the Indy 11 app through the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Well, Miami obviously has to crank up the pressure now, and Blake continues to struggle. And Indy would be best served just to kind of knock this ball sideways if they can. Sekbers keeps the attack alive. Ball played across, looking back post. Murphy just couldn't adjust his body to the ball, and Jack Blake's night is done. And even if Indy is on their best run of form in 4 years, you can tell by players being down, coming up a bit gimpy, that 13 days off sounds lovely right now to the Indy 11.
Right. It was a great ball. That was a great serve, just a little bit behind Murphy. He was able to get his head to it, but not able to get anything behind it and get down on that ball. What a serve. What a serve. He just got a little bit too deep on his run.
Well, Murphy has been, as expected, a game changer for Miami. All our substitutions brought to us by G Club of Indiana. Harrison Robledo played 1 half against Memphis. Officials told him he could play no more and had to sit the next match with a red card he picked up late in the first half. I'm sure a lot of that anger was built up because of the side in Memphis that day. He has 1 more sub available. And Ravenno, Roberto Molina are those options. And Trilk's going to be admonished for time wasting. He is officially in the no more category. He says, thank you, sir.
He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what's coming.
Plays beyond his years, doesn't he?
Oh, he does.
25 years of age. Just turned 25 3 weeks ago. The former Leatherneck from Western Illinois. I should have added that to
Yeah, why don't you ask me the easy ones?
Mascot trivia. Look at that run by Robledo. Steps in, knocks it forward for Pino, but just that touch a little bit off. And Vasquez, yep, that's a foul, no doubt.
And that might be that ball into Pino. That might be, hey, it's my first touch after sitting for 86 minutes, and here I am. I just got to lay this ball perfect weight, and he's in.
Miami had aspirations of 3. Pass a bit too strong. At this point, they would settle for 1, and again, 1 would ensure that when they saw Detroit City next, they would have a chance to catch them for that last playoff spot. And those 2 play in Hamtramck next Saturday night. Trevor James's team got a massive win in Birmingham last Sunday. Stanley does just enough to keep that in play, and then Pino called for the foul. Sometimes the words of a coach can uplift you, or sometimes the coach can literally nudge you in the opposite direction. Flag goes up. Repetto was offside. Well done by the Indy 11. Vasquez just pulled up enough to put Repetto in an offside position.
And that's one of those ones, too. You take a look at Indy's back line on that play. If he's not offsides, you've got all players focused on the ball, and you got Murphy sitting in a channel in the middle of the box.
A special hello to A.J. Marcinko, who has joined us in the booth tonight. He is a freshman that is just getting started in his potential broadcast career at Butler University, and if he hasn't figured out to do something else with his life after hanging with us for 2 hours, we clearly have failed this young man. Hope you've enjoyed your time tonight, AJ. Sort of. Budati takes the foul. This match brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered. You're looking to make it back-to-back 1-0 victories. 3 consecutive wins at home. Again, 5 wins out of their last 6 played. There are 2 different types of watching the scoreboard this time of year as Asante goes down. Hope that he is all right. And now a yellow be given to Aiden Stanley. And Asante is basically showing State's Exhibit A as to why that was a card-worthy foul on the back of his left calf. So 4th yellow given to a Miami player in tonight's match. And Asante is still having words with our referee, Eligio Araguin.
One thing about Solo, he never cheats a foul. You know, when he gets hit, he gives you everything right here.
And now a yellow going to be shown to the interim head coach of Miami, and Lewis Neal. Lewis took over in June. Anthony Pulis. I would lean towards this having been a relatively well officiated match at this point.
I did too. I thought early on with as many cards and calls as we had that this may get a little bit out of control, but he's done a great job of keeping this passionate match under control.
Well done by Stanley. Ricocheted off Pino. Absolutely. No, they're going to say it's a corner. My apologies. I thought he had handled that well, but referee says no. Corner kick coming for the Indy 11. This is brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. You going for goal? You going for the campfire here?
Well, I think you're going to see if you can't play a little bit of possession here, knocking around the corner. You know, you take a look at the bodies that normally come up, some of the bigger bodies from the back, not sending them, trying to keep your shape.
Play it right along the byline. Ball eventually finds Budati. And Revenue, by the way, has made his way to the bench. He'll be the final Indy 11 substitution. Lindley, can he get there in time? He does. Robledo keeps it in. Pretty backheel to Lindley. That'll be a foul against Indy. 8 minutes of stoppage time has been given. Brad and I do not feel like doing a long post-game show anyway.
I'll tell you what, I'll watch another one of these. These have been fun.
Whatever the conversation has been internally amongst those of us that worked full-time, such as yourself, or part-time for the Indy 11, the conversation has been everything is so much easier when you're winning. Cabral has a hit, but not the direction you wanted to put that one. Tim Trilk barely had to move.
Solid strike. Solid pickup from Trilk. The bobble was intentional.
Well, this reminder, you're watching this game in Indianapolis on Wish TV, and Wish TV is your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. Of course, want to thank our affiliates as well in South Bend, WHME, and WLMO in Fort Wayne, part of the Indy 11 television network all season long. We will not broadcast either of the next 2 road matches. You go to ESPN Plus to find those against New Mexico and Phoenix. And that will be a foul. It's going to be on Harrison Robledo. And Robledo just missed a match because of a red card. He's got to be careful. He'll pick up the yellow. Young man on loan from FC Cincinnati. Youngest regular rotation player of the Indy 11 this year at 21 years of age.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that one because he got the yellow card for the foul, then he kicks the ball away, and then he avoids the official. So, you know, if you get a guy who's in a bad mood, that could be it for your night.
Craig, the long distance ball looking for Murphy. Opportunity here. No danger just yet. Now a little real estate bought by Budati. Craig with a deft touch, and Zendejas well away from his goal. But Lindley slides through. Lindley taken down by Craig. That's going to be a red, you have to think. Yep, straight red on Paco Craig. And again, both the ferocious of the challenge, but he was the last defender there. So Paco Craig will see his night done early. Let's hope that Cam Lindley is okay, because that was, again, you understand the thought behind it, but Lindley took a heck of a hit from Paco Craig. So straight red for Paco Craig. And now let's talk about this going forward.
I don't understand that ball right there.
Right.
I just don't, at this point in the game, I don't understand putting your defender in that kind of position.
But let's also talk about now what this says for Miami next week.
Oh.
Again, you've got a huge match for your playoff lives, basically, at Detroit. You know you won't have Rivas because of national team duty. And now Paco Craig, you could literally say your best two players are going to miss that match.
Right, and I don't know who they had on that kind of accumulation watch list, but as many yellow cards as have been tossed out here tonight, there's a chance they lose another guy.
Paco will hustle back to the locker room for the Miami FC.
And while you hate to see a foul like that, and with where Zendejas was,
you had to give it.
Lindley could just lift that ball from there,
which is why Lindley was on
done.
such a sprint. Yep, and that's why that was even with the goalkeeper. That's why it was a red, because of the obvious goal-scoring opportunity that was for the Indy 11. So now it may largely be a game of keep away for the Indy 11, playing a man up for the rest of the night.
Well, that 8 minutes, I think, just went to 10.
Pino will do his best to step on it inside of the corner flag. It'll be a throw in for the Indy 11. Last off the boot of Aiden Stanley. Off the leg of Pino, restart coming quickly for Miami FC. Now remember, Indy was down a man and 2 goals earlier this year and pulled a point, so it can be done. And Revenant will make his way to the 4th official. Repetto couldn't get ahead to it. Robledo tries to find Guenzotti, does find Guenzotti. Sekbers, though, does just enough. Femu just to nudge it past Cam Lindley.
And you just can't click off. There's that mental bit about being up a man, down a man, that just changes the psychology of players.
Ryan Revion just can control that in time, and before the restart, Revenant will come on. Solomon Asante will exit. Ben Revenant on his second different loan stint to a USL Championship team this season. Began the year with Birmingham Legion. He is on loan from the New England Revolution. He'll come on to replace Solomon Asante. And while Solo had the pass, if this was college soccer, he'd get an assist for it, but doesn't give an assist. In this scenario, another solid night for Solomon Asante.
Great effort. Great effort. And not just, the fact he sets up Budati for the assist, but his pace is able to break things down. You could take a look here. If you replay the last 20-25 minutes, the energy in which he was pressing the ball and he was closing down defenders was impressive.
Sign says 8, but we expect more. Tim Trilk contemplate the meaning of life for a few moments before he gets back up. for a 4th clean sheet since that net became his. Repetto will, all he's doing is wasting more time, basically. Trilk being told to restart, and he eventually obliges.
I'm here. I'm right here.
And Guenzati fouled. Next time, Indy 11 fans, you can see your team in this building is September the 24th, a Sunday afternoon game against Rio Grande Valley, a team that Indy beat 2-1 when they played in South Texas a year ago. Log on to Indy11.com, call 317-685-1100 to get your tickets. Handball, yep. More sands of the hourglass will fly through before Indy hits the reset button. 11th win of the season for the Indy 11. And one step closer to the postseason for the first time since 2019.
Absolutely on fire right now.
Udati. Quinn. It's going to be a foul against Indy. And a yellow shown to Aiden Quinn for time wasting. Aiden not close, by the way, on yellow card accumulation in terms of potentially missing a match.
Which is incredible because of how consistently you pencil him into the lineup and how much he plays 90 minutes and how much he's in the thick of it all the time.
Well, to your point, Brad, you officially get credit for 90 minutes played every time you play a match. Aiden has now played the distance, has went the distance for the Indy 11 in 22 consecutive matches. He was last subbed out April the 22nd against Monterey Bay. Flag goes up against Repetto of Miami.
I think we need to get somebody statistically on all of the stoppage time minutes that he's played that he's not gotten credit for. He's got to be touching 30,000.
So Quinn by a million is what you're saying at this point.
Yes.
It is the longest continuous stretch that a field player has played during the course of a season in Indy 11 history. Topping the Iron Man Tyler Gibson from back in 2019. He has sat for 30 minutes all year. He was subbed out 3 times the first 6 games. That's it. Quinn will simply knock that one forward. Indy asking for time to be checked as we're now 90 seconds past the allotted 8 minutes. Only goal belongs to Sebastian Guenzati. Segbers.
Got to make sure you get pressure to the ball. Can't take your foot off the gas here.
Lindley will head it sideways and finds a teammate. Revion to Quinn. And that's it. On a tick past 100 minutes, the Indy 11 equaled their best run of form in over 4 years. They crossed the 40-point threshold for the season. They've won 3 consecutive times in front of their home fans here at the Brickyard Battalion and Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium. And our stat of the game brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. For the first time in team history, a season sweep of the Miami FC. Both games 1-0. The goal belonged to Adrian Dees, paid back on August 12th. Landed Sebastian Guenzati gets his 9th this season, and all 3 points stay with the boys in blue.
Critical 3 points, critical win. This run continues. Confidence, the momentum, all of that stuff continues to build on itself.
Now we will have an abbreviated post-game show following this one because of the length of the time this match took. Our plan is to get Tim Trilk on the post-game show as well as the winning head coach of the Indy 11 in Mark Lowry. For the Indy 11, even though they are playing well, they will happily take some time off. They next play on September the 15th in New Mexico on Hispanic Heritage Night. Indy 11, El Club de Football Miami Cerro. Thanks for joining us. Post-game coverage comes your way next on Wish TV.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
A very happy post-game show underway from Carroll Stadium. We'll talk to Tim Trilk and Mark Lowry coming up at some point in the next 20 minutes. Indy celebrating Hispanic Heritage Night 1-0. Since the Indy 11 began in 2014, we've had an Hispanic Heritage Night. And seemingly since day one, the good folks at Financial Center Federal Credit Union have been here to support that. Let's tell you more about that from an interview we had before tonight's game. We are thrilled to be joined now by Laura Mirabal with Financial Center Federal Credit Union. You see me kind of counting fingers and make sure I get all the proper names. We'll call it Financial Center from this point forward. This is the 10th year of the Indy 11. This is the 10th Hispanic Heritage Night, and I'm pretty sure Financial Center has been a part of it from year number one. Laura, thank you so much for the time. And first of all, give us the elevator speech. For those that haven't heard of Financial Center, tell us about it.
Of course, yes, we are a local credit union that's been around for 70 years. We currently assist over 69,000 members in the Indianapolis, Kokomo, and Muncie area. We offer products like checking account, savings account, mortgage, auto loans, and we also part of a shared branching network. That means if you have an account with us, you can bank with other 5,000 credit unions around the United States.
And I also know that part of tying into Hispanic Heritage Night is very important to Financial Center because of where your branches are located, especially here in the Indianapolis area. It's kind of your thoughts on that.
That is correct, yes. It's very important for us to be able to serve our Hispanic community, and we are very happy to be here today. We have branches like the one on the west side. It is a lot of members there to speak Spanish, so we're glad to be here celebrating the Hispanic Day.
And obviously, you have been a wonderful partner of the Indy 11
yes.
seemingly since day number one. Why is Indy 11 such a good fit for Financial Center?
Well, we love to work with companies that support diversity and also help the Hispanic community. So that's very important for us, and that's why we love to work with Indy 11.
And regardless of where you live, I know the folks at Financial Center are very big on financial literacy and offer
yes.
a lot of programs to help in terms of that. Anything else our viewers should know about Financial Center tonight?
Well, we'd love to make sure that everybody knows that we are very big on financial literacy, but with intention. So we're trying to create those classes that make sense and resonate with the community.
All right. So with that, tell us the website website to find out more information and or the phone number.
Yes, our website is www.fcfcu.com, and our phone number is 317-916-7700.
And again, even the pros have to slow down and say that because of the repeat. So one more time, fcfcu.com.
That is correct.
That is Financial Center Federal Credit Union, and it is Laura Mirabal that joins us here in the postgame show. Laura, thanks for the time, and most importantly, thanks for the partnership with the Indy 11.
Thank you for having me.
Hispanic Heritage Night, a great night for the Indy 11 as they defeat Miami FC by a score of 1-0. Second time they've had that result against this team in the span of 22 days. Player interview, coach interview comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
Tell 'em more, tell 'em more, tell 'em more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do you do? Tell 'em more, tell 'em more, tell 'em more,
Players still kind of making their way through to BYB and thanking fans for being here on what is a warm and muggy early September evening, but the home folks go home happy. Sebastian Guenzati with the lone goal tonight. Indy again picks up their 5th win in 6 matches as they continue to climb the table in the USL's Eastern Conference. A quick look at highlights as to how this one played out again. Overall, Brad, your thoughts on what you saw from Mark Lowry's side this evening?
Well, I thought it was a great second half. You know, you look at the stats and the way that you felt after the first half, it was fairly even match, but you started looking at the way the second half unfolded, and it was possession, and opportunities in the attacking half, and just occasional bits of transition from Miami.
It was not a night where there was going to be a lot of chances either way, because again, not because of stylistically, I think it's because these two teams are so even, Brad.
Right, and you look at it and you take a look at on the all-time table, the historic Paco Craig's, Kyle Murphy's versus the historic Indy 11 players. I mean, you got some icons out here.
That's probably the best chance that Miami had all night. Salazar only played the first 40 minutes, did not get much on it. Still fantastic work by Tim Tripp.
Yeah, when I saw Salazar with the ball at his feet right at the 12, it's like, here we go again.
Lindley, Asante, Budati, Guenzati, ball game. That's all that was needed for the Indy 11.
It's just the way you dial it up. Push it out right, you get a couple of touches, put it across, find Guenzati, goal.
Guenzati makes that same run multiple times every game. Nobody found a way to stop it just yet. And that was all that this match had in it from a goal-scoring standpoint. Look at the stats, and again, possession was 53-47 in favor of Miami in the first half. So Indy won that battle by a more significant number in half number 2. And again, yes, Miami did finish a man down, but that happened in the last 5 or 6 minutes it was Indy that won the second half and then won the game.
Right. It was that second half, and in the possession, as it tilted, you could see it in the second half, just the volume of touches in the attacking half that Indy 11 had.
Virtually every other stat was dead even, except the one that mattered most. Indy found the goal, Indy found the 3 points, and they continue to climb the table in the Eastern Conference. Tim Trilk is on his way to our interview location. Let's update you on the Eastern Conference table, then we'll catch up with Tim Trilk coming up here in a matter of moments. So add 3 to the Indy 11 total. Right now they're in a playoff position. I don't want to be Betty Buzzkill about the situation.
Betty Buzzkill?
I just made her up. Memphis has 3 games in hand on Indy. Louisville has 2. Indy doesn't play again until September the 15th. So by the next time they play, those numbers could look different. You said it very well earlier. Just keep winning, and things will take care of itself, and that's exactly what Indy 11 has been doing.
Yeah, Memphis and Louisville may have games in hand. However, they still have to win those games.
The man that tonight lived up to his social media nickname, his nickname and his clothing line, Trilky Smooth. Tim Trilk joins us now, your 4th clean sheet in your last 7 starts since taking over for Yannick Ertl. Congratulations, my friend. How you feeling?
Thank you guys very much. Definitely tired.
It was funny. Obviously, you were a topic of conversation when Mark and I spoke for Soccer Saturday earlier today, and he goes, as good as Tim was last year, he's even better this year. So I want to get it from you. Where do you feel you're a better keeper than you were when you got 16 starts a season ago?
Personally, I think it's just a maturity thing. That was the biggest thing for Mark, as he said. I was good for us last year, but I was inconsistent. And so that was his biggest thing. You know, they told me this year they needed to bring someone in for me to fight with. And, you know, a lot of credit to Yannick as well. I think we've both grown a lot this year, even from day one. And it's something that's just what they say, you know, iron sharpens iron. And I think I have to give a lot of credit to Yannick pushing me day in and day out this year.
You mentioned consistency, and you take a look at these last 6 matches, 3 goals in 6 matches, a .5 goals against average. What has been the change?
These guys want to fight now. I can't put a finger on it to save my life right now, but it's something where there's another one today. Aiden Quinn's save went off the line. I'm not the only one making saves out here, and I think that's the biggest thing is everyone's out here willing to fight and put their lives on the line, keep that ball out of the net.
Now, this may be only things that goalkeepers and coaches really enjoy, but the way that wall set up was something of beauty. Dambrot was overlapping the post a little bit. Then you went from tallest to shortest. How much do you work on that to give yourself the correct wall to shrink those windows that you have to defend?
It's something that it makes all the difference, you know? If Diz isn't the second person in that wall, maybe it gets over him. Then it's something that we look at, and it's, you know, something I don't think the average fan recognizes. So for you guys to pick up on that, I appreciate that.
We're not the average fans here.
Exactly,
buddy.
exactly.
But we appreciate that. All right. Again, this team's playing the best they played almost in 4 years at this point in terms of picking up 16 points from 18. Are you kind of disappointed you get a break, or do you need a little downtime with 13 days now between this game and the next one?
You know, the month of August took a lot out of us. We talked about the travel on Soccer Saturday from El Paso and everything. I think we had 2-3 game weeks in that, and the boys can definitely use some rest. But we're not taking it lightly. It's not a, hey, see you guys in 2 weeks. We're still putting in the work this week, a couple days off to get our legs back under us. And when we show up, I believe we got Phoenix next. We're going to be ready to go again.
Love the attitude. Been an all-in attitude since the moment you've gotten here. Now, big hit on Dispay, so I know that you got a little bit of body knocks on you, and then we saw you cramping up. So a lot of pickle juice, a lot of mustard, bananas, and water, all right?
Of course.
Okay. That wasn't a question. That was just like fatherly advice from a 10-year pro. Tim, we'll let you go enjoy it, man. Enjoy some downtime. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you guys very much. Take care.
You got it. Tim Trilk, kind enough to join us again after his 4th clean sheet in 8 starts this year. By the way, that is his 6th win in 8 starts this year as well. Final segment from Carroll Stadium when we come back.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
The Indy 11 have won for a 5th time in their last 6. They are temporarily in the spot that would give them a home playoff game the weekend of October the 20th. Now, there is obviously 6 weeks, 7 weeks between now and then. And there's 13 days between this game and the next. You heard Tim just talk about, hey, a couple of days off, but back to work. What should be the mindset of this team over the next 7 to 10 days?
They're in the perfect mindset right now. They got confidence, they got momentum, they got energy, they believe in each other. Doesn't matter who's stepping in, somebody's stepping up. And so at this point as a coach, you just you back off, you just let it grow.
And again, for the guys that maybe had to go out early because of injuries tonight, like say a Dizpay or a Jack Blake, you've got time to rest and recover. For guys that were kind of late week injuries like Douglas Martinez, like Callum Chapman-Page, you've got time to rest and recover as well. And again, just one more midweek match. And even that stretch after this break, a little bit different. It's 3 matches in 10 days. It's Friday, Wednesday, Sunday. So with that, let's update you on the other scores from elsewhere around the Eastern Conference tonight. Again, Indy is up into 4th place, sitting on 41 points. Detroit City and Memphis 1-1. That's frankly great news for Indy in terms of climbing past Memphis. It's good news for Tulsa and Miami. Detroit maybe gains a point on them, but not a full 3. I cannot commend Hartford's output tonight enough. 1-1 with Tampa Bay. Hartford, I think, took 12 or 13 players to Tampa Bay tonight. That's one of the worst teams in the league. It's one of the best teams in the league, and Hartford may pull a point from that. Lou City and Colorado Springs are just getting started. And again, the Charleston Battery just getting started against New Mexico. And that is the team that is up next in 13 days for the Indy 11.
Right, and the one to watch tonight is the Colorado Lou City one, because there's another one that you're looking to jump for that home field advantage in the playoffs.
So here's the upcoming schedule, and basically this is every game but one. So 13 days from now at New Mexico United. Then the final midweek match at Phoenix. Phoenix, right now in Detroit, those are the 2 teams on those 5 that are in a playoff position that Indy will play. Back home for RGV, then Detroit City, at Tulsa, then at the defending champs in San Antonio to finish the season. That gentleman picked up his 9th goal of the season. And for a 2nd consecutive Saturday, it was the game winner. Final score tonight, Indy 11-1, Miami FC 0. Good night. Happy Labor Day weekend from the Indy 11 Wish TV.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me. AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.